Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us. It's Friday, August 9th. You're watching News 2 on VIA Channel 4 and 504. I'm Alison Bourne-Vanek, filling in for Leslie Commission. Topping our stories tonight, an update on a shooting that left 6 people on St. Croix with gunshot wounds. On July 28th, 911 received numerous calls of shots fired at an event called Floatopia in the vicinity of Fort Frederick Beach in Frederiksted, St. Croix. The Virgin Islands Police Department identified 6 victims at a gathering on Frederiksted Beach. A local musician used his voice to organize activists to discuss a resolution to criminality and gun violence. Here's more.
Lamar Jacobs is known as a singer with the local calypso band UMB Soldiers, but the singer used his voice in a different way and used his connections to gather fellow musicians and local activists in addressing criminality and gun violence that left 6 injured at the Floatopia event on July 28th.
We have to get into these communities and fight this thing head on. People have to be rehabilitated. People can be rehabilitated. But how serious are we?
Pastor Jermaine Mully has served as an educator in the Virgin Islands public school system and is the pastor at the St. Luke AME Church on St. Croix. Mr. Mully heads a youth program entitled The Hood Project, which engages youth in education, economics, and life skills. Mully provided prayer at the event and expressed that change demands collaboration.
We've been praying, but we know that it takes works along with prayer. We ask for policy to change. We ask for people's heart to change. We ask for people who put their hands on the plow and not look back.
The gathering took place on the same site that the shooting occurred at the Floatopia event. Local personality MC Bogle and several artists provided testimony and performances. The Young, Gifted, and Black Band is a musical group formed as a crime prevention program. Members expressed that gun violence has deeply affected their lives and has become a predominant fear.
It is tougher just for us just to live how we want to live. Being afraid, never know, it might be our last time. Today might be the last day for us.
There has been no arrest made from the shooting at Floatopia. According to information from the VIPD, police presence was at the Frederiksted Beach when the shooting occurred. Presently, there has been no information on the culprits. Anumaat Kahina, a former Miss Crucian Christmas Festival queen, called for residents to do their part in addressing criminality.
Every single person here is accountable for the people in your lives, for the people in your community. Many of us know when our friends are doing wrong, and I'm the first one to tell them. Doesn't matter if you lose friends, doesn't matter if your reputation is being stomped on, you better speak your truth. Because when the person in your life that you went and let do some nonsense gets away with it and actually takes a person's life, you are also responsible for that life being lost.
One of the victims at Floatopia sustained a gunshot wound to the shoulder and was airlifted to the mainland for further medical treatment. The incident is currently under investigation by the Criminal Investigation Bureau. For News 2, I'm Stephanie Shalana Brown.
Senator Kenneth Gittins appeared at the event and called for parents to stop treating children like friends, and rather adults should engage in healthy parent-child relationships. Meanwhile, the VIPD is looking for information on a shooting on St. John. On Tuesday, according to police, on August 6, around 9 p.m., they responded to a call about shots fired in the Bayside area near Cap's Place in Cruz Bay. Officers made contact with Juan Jean-Baptiste, a local resident in his mid-30s. He was shot multiple times in his lower extremities. Jean-Baptiste was alert and cooperating at the time. He was transported to the Myra Keating Clinic, where he refused to provide information about the incident. That's according to police. Crime scene technicians discovered that at least 7 shots were discharged at the scene. This case is currently under investigation by the Criminal Investigations Bureau. If you have any information, call the numbers on your screen: 774-2211, Crime Stoppers VI at 1-800-222-TIPS or 911. Police are also asking for information from the public on an assault that happened earlier this week. According to police, on Tuesday, August 6, around 10:30 a.m., officers made contact with an adult black male, Ivan Alexander. who said that he was walking in the area of Louis Market in Smith Bay that morning when he felt a stinging sensation on the left side of his back and later suspected it to be a gunshot wound. Alexander told officers that he did not hear any gunshots or see anyone in the area with a gun. Alexander sustained a laceration on the left side of his back. He was treated and released from Schneider Regional. This case is currently under investigation by the Criminal Investigations Bureau. Call the numbers on your screen if you have any information. 774-2211. Crime Stoppers VI at 1-800-222-TIPS or 911. There was a lot of congested traffic in the area of Brookman Road on St. Thomas on Wednesday, and this is why. The VIPD and the Department of Homeland Security were conducting a joint raid on an establishment called the Underground Nightclub, and that led to the arrest of 38-year-old Joanna Gonzalez McFarland of the Dominican Republic. McFarland, who operated the nightclub, was charged with 1 count of harboring an alien for financial gain and 1 count of interstate transportation for prostitution. Court documents unsealed Thursday shows that McFarland operated the Underground Nightclub in St. Thomas between at least December 2018 and the latest of August 2019, and that she recruited young foreign women and had them smuggled into the territory to engage in prostitution while working at the bar. McFarland allegedly housed the women at a residence on St. Thomas. The women were required to engage in commercial sex at the defendant's nightclub to repay their smuggling debts. How did the authorities find out? According to court documents, one of the women, who originally is from Venezuela, reported her situation to her family via text messages and calls, and the family contacted police. Then an FBI agent posing as a bar patron negotiated with McFarland to obtain a quote-unquote date with the young woman away from the bar. And that was how the young woman escaped. There are also allegations that the defendant made threats to kill one of the young women working at the bar and burn one of their passports. U.S. Attorney Gretchen Shepard stressed that at this point, the defendant is presumed innocent until found guilty. The case is being investigated by the Homeland Security Investigations and the FBI, with support from other federal and local agencies. We'll keep you updated. Thursday on St. Croix, traffic stalled in the area of Beeston Hill when a fire truck responding to a call overturned on the side of the road. According to the VIPD, on August 8th, around 10 a.m., 911 got several calls about an overturned emergency response vehicle. A fire unit was en route to a pending call when it overturned on Queen Mary Highway in the vicinity of Catherine's Rest intersection in Christiansted. Traffic through the Beeston Hill area was diverted for several hours. Members of the VI Fire Service, WAPA, and the contractor company, Vivat, worked in unison to remove the overturned fire truck from the pole. Vivat supplied a large front loader to pull the vehicle upright. Then a large crane lifted the truck and placed it on a flatbed, where it was taken to the Richmond Fire Service Station. The crane and loader were also supplied by Vivat. No fatal injuries were reported. However, 2 firefighters who were complaining of neck pain were transported to Juan F. Louis Hospital by ambulance. Both firefighters were treated and released from the hospital. Meanwhile, in the face of blistering criticism from ratepayers, the Water and Power Authority is justifying yet another portion of the electric bill that consumers get every month, the leased generator surcharge. Some WAPA customers took to social media asking why they're paying for a generator that they didn't lease, on top of exorbitant base rate and LEAC rates they're already paying. WAPA CEO Lawrence Kupfer sent out a response saying the lease generator surcharge, which took effect on July 1st, allows the authority to pay for the smaller, more efficient rental generators. These are now operational at both power plants on the Agreco units on St. Croix and the Wärtsilä units on St. Thomas. According to Kupfer, the lease generator surcharge came about as a result of a plan that was developed at the direction of the Public Services Commission. Kupfer did say that the increased rates to pay for the leased generators were not approved by the PSC. Facing a budget shortfall of $45 million, WAPA then applied to the PSC in December 2018 for the leased generator surcharge. It was conditionally approved by the Commission in May. resulting in the new charge that consumers are seeing on their bill. The territory currently pays the highest rates for electricity annually per capita in the entire United States. For more information on your bill, you can go to www.viwapa.vi. Coming up next, St. Croix Foundation receives a large grant from AmeriCorps, plus highlights from the franchising Miss E Women's Voting Rights Tour. We'll be right back. The St. Croix Foundation has been awarded a $340,150 grant by the Corporation of National and Community Service. The grant assigns 15 AmeriCorps Vista volunteers to support 8 nonprofits in St. Croix beginning September 2019. AmeriCorps Vista, which stands for Volunteers in Service to America, is a national service program dedicated to ending poverty by building the capacity of nonprofit organizations and public agencies. This is the first AmeriCorps Vista team in the territory in over 20 years, and volunteer applications should be received by August 10th. The St. Croix Federation Executive Assistant Essence Carter provides more information.
By the Corporation of National and Community Service to bring 15 AmeriCorps Vista volunteers to the island of St. Croix to support 8 nonprofits. They will provide technical support for nonprofits doing tasks such as grant research, website development, outreach to the community, a variety of tasks. We are looking to get support for 8 nonprofits. The nonprofits include the Caribbean Center for Boys and Girls VI, the St. Croix Landmark Society, Virgin Islands Good Food Coalition, St. Croix Montessori, the State Historic Preservation Office, St. Croix Long-Term Recovery Group, Clean Sweep Frederiksted, and the St. Croix Foundation. We are looking for volunteers 21 and up. Each volunteer receives a monthly living allowance. They get a choice at the end for an education award or cash stipend. They also receive health care benefits and professional development training. We are asking all of our local volunteers to apply by August 10th, so get your applications in as soon as possible. We are looking for 15 volunteers to support our 8 nonprofits on the island of St. Croix. And you can apply at my.americorps.gov. We look forward to really building capacity for the nonprofits on St. Croix.
On Sunday, a group of Virgin Islands women led the community on a tour that highlighted the point in history when women in the territory fought for the right to vote. The tour, entitled Franchising Miss E Culture History Tour, was a remembrance of the 1935 Virgin Islands women's right to vote movement. Sunday's event began at the Memorial Moravian Cemetery and ended at Educators Park across from the Post Office Square in downtown Charlotte-Amalie. It stopped at significant sites that were important to the lives of Edith Williams and other suffragettes, including the old Abraham Lincoln School, Fort Christian, and Emancipation Garden. There was a traditional conch shell call and performances by the Ullamulla Bambula dancers and drummers. The Charlotte-Amalie High School cultural dancers also performed quadrille and to old-time calypso. 12 descendants of VI suffragettes were among the participants. Congratulations to the organizers. Mutiny on the Bounty is a classic international film that chronicles a 1787 English Royal Navy ship on a mission to collect and transport breadfruit plants from Tahiti to the West Indies. A new business utilizing the breadfruit and the story will open its doors tomorrow at the Old Islands Dairies facility on St. Croix.
We had the idea to do something big to want to give back to the island, and what we found was through the use of breadfruit or ulu. It's truly a gift from the Pacific and from the Pacific cultures. It got to the Caribbean, the breadfruit from the Caribbean, to the Caribbean from Tahiti specifically on the Bounty. If you're familiar with that story, Mutiny on the Bounty, the most famous mutiny tale ever, that's where our name comes from. But this first in the world island vodka is characterized, it's a little different than other vodkas. You have kind of a citrus green banana flora on the finish that makes it really stand out against traditional vodkas. So I always like to tell people this. This is our island home, and this is our island vodka. So what I mean by that is just this. Cognac's from France, tequila's from Mexico, vodka's from, everyone says Russia, but it's really Poland. Island vodka's from where? USVI. We have people coming from Hawaii, Samoa, Indonesia, Canada, Dubai, Trinidad, and Mallorca, Spain. I mean, people are coming from all over the world for this, and they're coming here in support of the breadfruit and in support of what they believe island vodka will do and give back to the world community.
Coming up next, our Pet of the Week plus your News 2 AccuWeather forecast. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This week's Pet of the Week is from the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center's Adoption Center. Meet the very mellow Mr. Franco.
This week we have Mr. Franco, and Franco, as all of our animals are, is a very special case. So Mr. Franco is right at about 6 months old, and he is one of our long tenured residents here at the shelter. He's been in the shelter system for a little over 65 days. And so if you do the math, that really means that Franco has spent about a third of his life here with the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center. And he loves to snuggle and relax with people. He really loves to just kind of curl up in your arms. A very calm little kitten. And Mr. Franco's backstory is he was trapped out at the Cotton Valley Dump here on St. Croix. He's very adoptable. As you can see, he's super relaxed in my arms. So you can come by, you can meet Franco and any of his friends here at the Pet Place. We're located in La Grande Princess, right on Northside Road, next to Food Town.
Mr. Franco is the cutest. If you or anyone is interested in giving Mr. Franco a loving home or any of the pets we feature on Pet of the Week, you can visit the St. Croix Pet Place Adoption Center. Call 725-7387 or visit them online at www.stcroixawc.org. Now, let's take a look at the weather for the next couple of days with our News 2 AccuWeather forecast.
Well, thanks for joining us. I hope you had a wonderful day today. We had a couple of showers and storms in spots, and that's because of a tropical wave that is moving across the region, moving out of the way though. So we will see some improvements from here on out. You can see there's a couple of tropical waves. One is moving into Central America. We have this one that moved through today across our area, and then two more on the way. They're going to stay to the south of us as of right now, but of course we'll keep our eye on that. So we had some showers, some storms, especially across the higher elevations of Puerto Rico today. Tonight, perhaps a leftover shower in spots, but it is going to be drying out. So 88 degrees today with spotty showers around. Tonight, a couple of clouds, perhaps a stray shower at 80 degrees. St. John tomorrow looking good. 89 for the high, mostly sunny and just nice. St. Thomas at 89, mostly sunny with beautiful conditions. And in St. Croix, 89, it's going to be mostly sunny and beautiful. Now, as far as the marine forecast, the Atlantic side, the waves 2 to 4 feet. That is smaller, lower than it was yesterday. And the winds out of the east 10 to 15 knots, so boating conditions are improving slowly. Caribbean side, same story, 2 to 4 feet for those waves, winds out of the east 10 to 15 knots. Here's the extended forecast. Expect to see a shower in spots Sunday, even into Monday. That means mostly dry, but a chance of a trade wind shower moving through. That will be the case on Tuesday, and on Wednesday looking drier. Lots of sun each day with clouds decorating our sky, and our temperatures will hover around 88 to 89 degrees. Have a great night.
Thanks for that. Coming up next, your dose of News 2 Sports with Gary Anthony. Stick around.
I'm Gary Anthony, and this is News 2 Sports. We've got a lot of ground to cover, so let's get to it. The president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, will make his first ever visit to the U.S. Virgin Islands on Sunday when he comes to St. Croix. Infantino will lead a FIFA delegation that is scheduled to meet with Governor Albert Bryan Jr. before going to his state Bethlehem to take part in the grand opening ceremonies at 5 p.m. of the USVI Soccer Association's new soccer complex. But before that, everyone is invited to the USVI Masters Tournament beginning at 1 p.m. Soccer players 40 and over are invited to lace them up and to get back into the game. From pitch to the court, the USVI All-Stars lost a heartbreaker 85-84 to Northern Kentucky Wednesday night at the Paradise Jam Summer Tour. The USVI had a 12-point halftime lead and were led by Khalid Gerard, who finished with a game-high 33 points. But in the final seconds, Northern Kentucky senior guard Tyler Sharp stripped the ball from USVI's Jeremiah James and put in the reverse layup just before the buzzer. Here are the results for previous games and the schedule for the weekend. Moving down to South America for the Pan Am Games in Lima, Peru, the USVI women's national team fell to Paraguay today 69-61. Anisha George led the way to the USVI with 19 points. And in the water, splash, splash, Adriel Sanders advanced to the B final in the 200-meter breaststroke, where he finished third with a time of 2 minutes and 16.4 seconds. Natalia Kuipers finished 14th overall in the women's 800-meter freestyle with a time of 9 minutes and 46.26 seconds. And Matthew Mays finished 19th overall in the 100-meter backstroke with a time of 59.04 seconds. That's it for sports. Have a fabulous weekend. Allison, back to you.
Thank you for that, Gary. And that's it for our show tonight. We're live on Facebook and YouTube and on VIA Channel 4 and 504, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Follow us on social media, tag us on any stories you want to see on the news, or send us a message on Messenger. You can also email us at newsdirector@tv2.vi. Thanks again for joining us on News 2. I'm Allison Bourne-Vanek. We'll see you next time.